Okay, so I'm walking around Pioneer Courthouse Square in Portland, and I see this guy walk by. Look, I see his neck, and I'm like, hello, are you an oral cancer survivor? And he said, yeah, I am, how'd you know? And I said, because, like, you know, we're soul siblings here. I get it, I see you. So I asked him his story, because what's so important is for all of you to hear other stories and know what his symptoms were, so that it could help people that you may know catch it early, because that is the most important thing to do. So Joe, like, what went on with you previously before you were finally diagnosed?
Years earlier, I had reoccurring strep throat, and
For how many years?
Probably 3 years, over and over.
Recurring strep throat. Anything recurring could be a sign. Okay, so you have this recurring strep throat, and then you told me you had a little lump here.
I had a lump.
Was it hard?
No, it was soft. And I
Was
thought,
it sort of fixed?
yes, it stayed in the same place, and it was swollen, and I could see it. And I thought I was going to get strep throat again, but that had been taken care of by a doctor. He recommended some antibiotics and things.
So you did all these antibiotics for all this time, and then finally you went to some new ENT or a new doctor, right?
Yeah, I went to a doctor, and he recommended yet more antibiotics for this thing, and that didn't work. And I went to go back, and he wasn't available, so they sent me, there was a nurse practitioner that saw me instead, because I didn't want to wait. And he looked at me and got his pad out, and I said, no more prescriptions, I need to be diagnosed. So he stuck his finger with a glove down my throat and felt a lump, and I saw the look on his face, and he said, I'm going to send you to an ENT. And I said, okay. And before I left the office, he said, if you don't get an appointment in the next day or so, you call me. So I picked an ENT out of our group, and when I called them, they said, your doctor already called, and we're going to take you right now.
Joe, let's give a shout out to nurse practitioners, okay?
Yes,
shout out. That was amazing.
Absolutely. He saved my life.
I guess nurse practitioners really listen, right?
Yeah, he did. Absolutely. And so...
okay, so you go to this doctor, and in like 10 days, you have surgery, chemo, radiation.
Right.
And what did he say? He said to you, like, he said your cancer had actually grown within the 10 days that he had first seen you?
I had 2 tumors, and the one exterior, I had one base of tongue and one on the outside. The one on the outside doubled in size in that 10 days. And it was amazing to be diagnosed and then under the knife and starting chemo radiation all in 10 days. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be standing here speaking.
Wow.
Right
So
now.
here you are, 17 years later,
right?
Looking good.
Yeah, oh, thank you.
Speaking well, sitting down to eat his lunch right now. And so some long-term effects. Do you get pain here?
I have some nerve injury, who knows what from. I mean, it was quite
still, you have movement, you could live a quality life, right?
I've worked in construction for 17 years and just recently retired, so after the fact.
Great news for you oral cancer survivors out there. You can have a good life after a lot of treatment for oral cancer.
You're gonna make me tear up.
No.
It's all good.
So let's just end our little interview with the story that you told me when you went back to the ENT after many years.
After a couple of years, after the treatment and everything, I was seeing him, and it takes a while for them to prove, and he said, you know, you look different. You look different. And I didn't know what he was talking about, and he said, I know what it is. You no longer have cancer. And that's the way he broke it to me, and I teared up and had to hug him, because that's the first I heard for sure that I no longer was carrying cancer.
Doctors who treated us and gave us all these good years, they're like family, right? You love them. They hold a place in your heart, and it will never ever go away. Shout out to my surgeon, Mark Erkin in New York City.
Yeah.
Well, it was great.
Dr. Umeda. And he was in Southern California.
All right, at Loma Linda. All right,
yes.
Joe, great to meet you.
Great to meet you. Thank you. Thank you for this.
Thanks for the interview.
All right.
Together, by telling our stories, we can save lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely.